so you have that, but then you also have ReZero,
Oh
another
yeah.
amazing isekai.
Hmm.
That also had a weird lolly aspect,
Well, ReZero was kind of like
but they were super old.
hundreds and thousands of years old. They couldn't be children if they're 2,000 years old. Of course not. But
No,
that
it's
ReZero
just
had a. It was kind of like a weird.
it had a weird take. It was, I mean,
Yeah.
it was him being the protagonist, but not through his ability to like, you know, make shit happen because he's just strong. He is just a human that remembers everything upon death and gets reborn. Like
Right.
he's so it's like it has that aspect and it's super dark and he dies gruesome deaths all the time throughout, especially the first season. I still haven't watched the second season.
I haven't watched it either.
Um but it is kind of an undertaking right now because there's just so many other anime that I kind of want to just continue to watch.
Yeah.
Um,
If I have more than if I usually have a rule where if I only keep one or two weeklies that I watch like when they release like religiously, and then I have one that I'm binging, and I try and keep it within three because if I do any more than that, I'm either gonna lose the story on one or two, or I'm gonna get bored of one, or something's gonna happen. So I just try and keep it between that. And then I consider the anime that I watch with my wife a separate class of anime because right now she's rewatching Shippuden from start to finish because she's never watched all of Naruto all the way through. So I'm kind of forcing her to do that. I promised her a Louis Vuitton bag or whatever bag she wanted upon completion, as long as she could. So here's the stint though. I make her answer questions every like arc or like every arc or arc and a half. I make her answer questions, and today she failed miserably because we were at the first encounter between Sasuke and Killer Bee when they fought for the first time. And I looked at her and I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool that Killer Bee has the needle blades from the Swordsman of the Mist, or at least blades that are based off of the needle blades from the Swordsman of the Mist." And she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh," I was like, what is that?" And she's like, "Swordsman of the Mist." I was like, how do you not like? They're literally talked about constantly. Suigetsu talks about him constantly. You went through the whole Zabuza arc, which they say Swordsman of the Mist 900 times. Fucking Kisame with his Samehara. He like just so many times. 8 Swordsmen of the Mist come up, and she just looks at me like, I don't know. I forgot. I guess. No, you didn't forget. You're not fucking paying attention. Oh God, it sent me. It sent me. How like they talk about it so many times. All right, but that's besides the point. I can go off on a rant. We'll have like a spouse anime day on the podcast one day or something. But like for right now, I don't want to get too into it. But yeah, so that's I think spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever animes that you're watching. I feel like those are in a separate category because you kind of have to watch them at the pace that your significant other is willing to watch them. You're muted right now.
I pre-screen almost every single anime that I
Same.
watch because
Same.
I know what'll A, keep her attention,
Yup.
and B, like I don't know if it's good enough for me to watch again, I'll watch it again.
Absolutely.
Like Fire Force.
Oh my God, fantastic. Slept
Yeah.
on though. Slept on so hard.
So slept on.
Like somebody, okay,
I
so somebody put a. So this is another one. This is going to be a series that we're going to start later on. This will probably be on like. I'm thinking about adding another episode to Wednesdays right now. We're just Monday, Thursday, but I might add another episode to Wednesday because there's just so many content ideas I have. But someone had a post, right? I see this post and it's got all the different characters they have, and it's like out of all the fire users, who would win, right? And Natsu was on the list, so obviously Natsu wins. He eats fire. It's kind of broken. If you're only fighting fire users, Natsu is very clearly going to win that. He eats all the fire, whatever. But
it's lightning too.
yeah, like he's just broken. Like he's a broken.
Yeah.
If you're only going against fire, Natsu wins. But
Yeah.
they had not Karen the Reflector. They had his brother. They had Sho on the list. And someone said that he was the weakest fire user of all of them. And I was like, hold on. I was like, we need to get into this. Because are we talking with the blessing? Are we talking without the blessing? Are we talking like in a straight up 1v1? Because I think Sho is probably the coolest. Maybe not the strongest, but definitely not the weakest. But he's the coolest fire user I've ever seen in any anime. just because of how original, the fact that he superheats the area around him to like control the universe.
Oh man. So okay. So if you put Sho and Natsu, right, in a
Yeah,
fight, how do you say, cuz Sho may be a fire user, but he uses his blade.
yeah,
How do you say that Natsu beats that? Cuz he's not using fire. He's using heat to
true.
expand the universe. He's not using fire. So, are you going to say that Natsu, who legitimately only uses fire in its most basic form,
Yeah,
essentially. Like,
yeah,
granted,
true.
it's super hot. He can melt. He can use so much heat. But the fact of the matter is the more that Natsu heats up, the easier it would be for Sho to release heat,
Yeah,
because there's already the heat around him. So, the harder that Natsu goes, it just makes Sho stronger. And if Natsu doesn't go hard, Sho just bops him
yeah,
anyway. He's just gonna cut his head off.
just rolls them. Yeah,
Like, I don't care how much plot armor you have. It took Shinra the ability, like, to raise his speed so much that his body completely broke apart at the speed of like light, and then came back together for the punch. Like, that's the only way he came. So it's like,
yeah,
are you saying that someone that cannot approach the speed of light is gonna beat Sho?
yeah. And that's not okay. And even with Shinra demolecularizing or whatever, that was only so he could keep up. He
Yeah.
didn't technically win. He just kept up. Like he was matching Sho. He wasn't beating Sho. So that's like another huge point. It's like what I don't under like these
Yeah.
like how is Fire Force so good, but
Yeah.
people are gonna say that the fire users in it aren't the strongest fire users in existence. Like I don't know the One Piece fire users, but I know almost like everybody else, and I know there's a shit ton of fire users all across. Like you've got the ones from Avatar, if you would put that in the anime category. I personally would. I think it's an anime. You've got the fire users from Naruto, which I don't even think are even close to on the level of any other fire user ever, because the fireball jutsu is like the weakest, most pointless shit in fucking entire universe of Naruto. But then you've got like fire breathing technique in Demon Slayer, which I don't even know. Would you even consider that a fire user? Because technically in the show,
No.
I don't know. Okay, here's a question. When they say water breathing style, fire breathing, snake breathing, whatever, blah, 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 the animations that they put along the swords, are they actually happening? Or is that just a illustration to show, like, to emphasize
So
the attacks? Because I personally
so
don't think that any of those elements are
no.
actually there.
Well, no, because I mean, if you look at the only one that you could maybe say in that situation is lightning, maybe. But the thing is like, not really. It's just basically just showing that he's going fast, and I think that's the artist's way of communicating. Like, the skills are based around this particular set.
Right.
Like, so it's like, okay, water. So it's tranquil. It can be raging, which is also a good reason why you have the certain breathing techniques from fire and water that would coincide. But I mean, no, I do not think, because otherwise that one fire breathing attack happens and literally everything around him would just be
Yeah,
burnt to a
it
crisp.
would
But
just
that doesn't
destroy the whole
happen.
thing. But it's like because I've seen things like there are some points in the anime where like you see the reactions of the space around them and like the people that they're doing the attacks to, and you might think for a second like that it actually is there, because sometimes the artist will put splashes of water like on the walls or the ground after like a water breathing scene happens, or like whatever the case is, and it like leads to indicate to some people that that might actually exist. But I agree with you. I think it's just a better way to illustrate the
Swordplay.
set pieces and exactly the swordplay that's going on.
Yes, I mean that, but Demon Slayer is just a beautiful
Yeah, gorgeous.
anime to watch. It's
Gorgeous.
like, it has just the right amount of dark elements and like bright colors that you're just like, I could watch this all day.
Yeah, and I think so. People also kind of drop that in the class of like your stereotypical shonen anime. I think they loosely follow the formula, but I don't think that it's like
No, It's not Dragon Ball Z blatant.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. No, we got to hold on. A whole Monday is going to be dedicated to that. I can already feel that. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it's just like this linear story that just drags on and the same shit happens to the same people. Because like the one thing that breaks it out of shonen is like you don't have your like super easily takes to demon slaying, like, and then you have your guy who had to work really hard for it, and then you have this guy and that guy. Like everybody feels like they're kind of on a level playing field if they're at the same point in their demon slaying career. Like all the Hashiros feel like they're on the same level. All the people on Tanjiro's level feel like they're generally on the same level, maybe in their own way. Like who's the pig face guy? What's his fucking name?
Oh, pig face.
I can never remember his name, but I know Tanjiro and Zenitsu, and like they all feel like they're on the same skill level. There we go, Inosuke. And then the Hashiras come in, and it kind of shows you that scaling of like this is what it takes to kill one of the moons, and this is where we're at right now with Tanjiro. So like he couldn't even kill an undermoon. So it's like that scaling feels natural, and it doesn't feel like Tanjiro's just gonna disappear for 2 arcs. He's gonna come back and be super high powered, and his hair is gonna be 2 times longer, and then he's just gonna be like fucking yoked, and he's gonna come in and cut all their heads off. Like I really don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, no, the pacing that they have for powering up in that is very, very gradual. I don't see, like, unless something drastic happens, and this is actually... Demon Slayer is actually one of the only anime I haven't read the manga as well. I usually do both side by side, and that's because I want... I want Demon Slayer because it is such a pretty show. I want it to be a complete surprise.
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
And like the same thing, I won't do that with Jujutsu Kaisen. There's a couple that I won't read because I want to see it happen first.
Yeah.
And it's not to take away saying like the story is going to be bad, because a lot like, because usually I read a manga because I like the story so much, and I watch it because I want to see how the artist brought that to life. Yeah. But no, so it's like unless something drastic happens that's just gonna spike his power, and like I don't see it being just exponentially like fatter. I see him just slowly getting stronger through the course of the show, to the point where if he's not the top, he'll be somewhere rivaling
absolutely
all the greatness that's out there.
So, all right, so we got kind of off topic. Let's get back on the isekais, right? This is going to be the isekai episode. So, one that I feel like if I asked 10 anime fans if they've ever seen this, they probably wouldn't. Me and you have talked about this before. They probably wouldn't even know what it is, but Log Horizon.
Oh my gosh.
Such an incredible anime. The strategies, the fact that they have it's another, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's another where the tactician is the main character, kind of like Lelouch, kind of falls along those lines. Hey, there will be episodes for that. We've got, we don't have enough time to cover all this. But Log Horizon, it's a tactician main character. He's not overpowered whatsoever. In fact, I think he's probably one of the most underpowered main characters that I've ever seen. He has one ability that actually does damage, and it's super weak. His strength is his party.
His strength is his party. Also, his ability to, like, manage, hundreds of people concurrently and know exactly their status and take it all in an instant.
Yep.
And is able to give commands, because like I think that's his greatest strength. Is like, yes, he's a tactician, but like they even I think they state in the beginning that he's the only one. Normally, it would be taken up by like 3 or 4 people in the party to do what he does alone, just to because they would focus on just the one party element. But he can take 32, 64 people and just completely manage them.
Yeah.
Without any issue.
Yeah, I think that's probably in that anime the best place that you can see it is the Goblin King arc, when the goblins are like attacking, like the huge goblin army is attacking the town, and he has to like get together all the heroes, and he has like a guild meeting with all the other guild leaders because he starts a guild. I don't remember what the guild is exactly, like what it's named or anything, but he starts his own guild and he forms an alliance of all the other guilds. Essentially, the rest of these people are also in his predicament, his isekai predicament, where they
Yeah.
were all transported from another world as well. So everyone's kind of figuring things out together, but they've found their other friends that play this MMO or play other MMOs or whatever, and they've formed guilds to kind of figure everything out. And then he brings them all together to form an alliance. And once the alliance is formed, he, starts showing off how good of a tactician he is. He takes the knights and the mages guild and the merchants guild, and it takes all these different pieces of the puzzle and he puts them together so well. And then I think the artists do a really good job of allowing you to watch it play out, as opposed to kind of forcing you to see this part and then this part and emphasizing that and then this and then constantly tapping back on the main character. They really just kind of let everything happen. Like everything just kind of happens very naturally and it feels good and you get to actually experience it. It's an immersive experience, and the Log Rise, it's just incredible. I think the second season fell off pretty hard, but
Well, I think what the issue is with the second season is I don't even know if it fell off pretty hard. I think it just came too late. And it got overshadowed by so many other, anime of the same type of genre. Well, that being said, it was kind of hard for Log Horizon to take off to begin with because Sword Art Online was out at basically the same time.
yeah, it was in control.
I don't know if they were. I don't know if they were in the exact. If they started the exact same season, but it's in my head. It's like okay, it's like you have Sword Art Online, then you have Log Horizon, and I loved Log Horizon, but Sword Art Online, it kept getting seasons, it kept getting more support, whereas
OVAs.
Log Horizon just Log Horizon just it actually fell off the map, and it like there was nothing posted. There's nothing at all. I mean, you have another one like that, Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. Same thing. Like if they would have, granted, I don't think Grimgar is going to get a new season
Is that the one
ever
where they
in
all
its
got murked by
existence.
the goblin? Like they all tried to fight one goblin and got murked by him?
Yeah, well, they got murked, but one died,
Yeah.
and that
It was like their leader.
That was like the
their
leader of the group.
Yeah. I think I gave that one a good college try. I don't think I ever finished it though. I think it got a little lame for me. But the idea of that one was pretty good. But like you said, I don't think they're ever going to. I don't think that one's ever going to get another season or another
No,
anything.
I think it deserves another season, not necessarily a redemption, but just like a because in and of
Continuation
itself, it's good. Yeah, because it's good. Like it's really good. I wanted a second season when I finished it. I was like, man, I really want a second season of this because it takes the whole aspect similar to Log Horizon, where it's like they're not trying to become the most overpowered things. They are just trying to survive in this new world. Whether that be because they want to become adventurers, so they can make money, so they can afford rent, or whatever it may be. But
Right.
I mean, and then you have some funny isekais out there too that aren't meant to be super serious.
See, I've never been able to get like I think I like
Konosuba.
Yeah, I like anime comedy when it fits with a good anime, but I've never liked anime comedy when that's the premise of the show. Like what's the jail one? They're all in jail. It's like some crazy prison. It's like super colorful and crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone told me to watch it.
I watched the first 3 episodes and dropped it because it just had every trope that you can imagine.
Yeah.
It wasn't even good.
Yeah,
It's like if you wanted someone to watch anime for their first anime, or not even their first, but like just like, hey, you should try this anime because it's way more different than what you're just gonna find looking on your own. And that way they could kind of be like, okay, and then that'll help them catch on to tropes like of other. But if you're a seasoned like anime watcher, it's kind of just, I don't know.
Is what it is.
You can see literally every other character from another anime within those characters. Like, okay, that guy got him, you know, his shit from Hisoka. That guy's just yeah, like just stuff like that. Like you can legitimately see that character archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's who they stole. Just